Dicen que las abuelas cuidaban de la tierra, sabían de medicina y leían las estrellas.
Okay. Well, hello, my sisters from all over the world. I'm here with grandmother LanéSaán Moonwalker, which is a huge gift for all of us that we can hear her and see her and get to know her. So we are so excited and so thankful that you have come here to be with us today. Thanking Great Spirit, Mother Father, for this beautiful opportunity and the chance to, you know, bring our hearts and wombs together today. Thank you. So, Grandmother Moonwalker is one of the grandmothers coming to the great voice of the voice of the grandmothers of the Americas. She's coming from New Mexico, and she's going to tell us a little bit about her story now, about her medicine. We would like to hear about you, please.
I want to give my thanks and gratitude to you, my dear hermana Luzclara. I have
Yes,
felt such a deep, heartfelt connection with you, even though we have met online. But through the ethers, I have felt like we have walked this path together many, many times. And I'm deeply heartfelt about this connection. I also want to give thanks to my dear friend, Nana Amalia, who
yes,
was the
yes,
person who actually connected us,
yes,
and to acknowledge that connection, whom I also have a good heart connection with.
yes,
And it comes up for me in acknowledgement of how there is a call for all of us who are guardians and have the responsibility about wisdom and the wisdom of the heart, the wisdom of the spirit, and how to go forward in a time of great challenges, great chaos, and proceed forward in a good way.
exactly.
It is a time that I have seen since I was 17
Mm-hmm.
and had visions,
Mm-hmm.
and some of those through dreams. I've had dreams since I was 5. It's how I ended up in conversations with my elders, people who looked like I look now with the gray hair, and I was a little 5-year-old. But now we
Uh,
have switched sides in age, but still deep conversations. We had a lot of the youth coming into the world who have work to do, places to go, people to meet, things to get done, and parts of nature to be in. And we forget that that relationship with our shared mother, Ome, is the most primary, most important one. And in sharing in time and place, it gives us a sense of time and place and
exactly,
value.
exactly.
I'm looking forward to the time in November when we can sit person to person without this
Yeah,
equipment. Thank you to
yeah,
the equipment that we can be here today, but
yeah.
I much prefer in person.
Yes, yes, of course. Yes, me
Of
too.
course.
Looking forward so much. We're going to be 13 grandmothers invited to do the ceremonies and etc. But there are also going to be many, many other grandmothers coming, you know.
Yeah.
So we're going to have a circle of the after the 13 grandmothers, there's then all the other grandmothers that are coming, the next circle, and then all the women. So it should be a huge, huge event, you know, to really make ripples on this time of so much chaos, as you're saying. Yeah, and so much fear also
Mm.
around. And that's what I would like to talk to you and give us some advice on how to deal with this fear that so many people are feeling. And then it's in the air, you know, it's just like in the air, that fear, and people get
Mm.
into it. and then it paralyzes them, and they don't want to go anywhere. They don't want to do anything, and so yeah, that's one of the big things that's happening now: the fear of the unknown.
Mm,
Yeah, yeah,
yes. Well, part of our fear has to do with we are entering it truly into a time of the unknown. And as creatures of habit and creatures that technically, I know that we have positioned ourselves to be masters of our world and we think we're the top species. We have these beautiful mimicking minds, these monkey minds of ours that have that ability, but technically we don't run as fast. We don't have as good a sight. We don't have as good as hearing. And in that sense, especially because we decided to stand up, which gives us some advantages, but there are also a lot of challenges with it. It means that our back is not as strong as many other creatures, and we don't have as much physical power. So it is a time, every time humans, most creatures, when we enter into a time of great evolution,
yeah,
where we are faced with a choice. Which way are we going to go? How are we going to go? Of course, there's going to be fear. We don't know. We are afraid of the unknown. For us as warriors, even when we don't have weapons, we
right,
feel that our greatest strength is what is in our heart,
exactly.
and to embrace the true intention of what is in our heart. When we identify ourselves with the emotion, whether that's fear or anger or grief, we have externalized our core sense of our beingness, our right to be. And so we are taught, oh, I'm just happen to be feeling this emotion right now because I am a sentient creature, and humans being very emotional creatures, we feel all the emotions, very complex emotions, much more extremely than most other critters.
Hmm.
And it's important. Oh, that's just an experience I'm having. Those are just my emotions. They motivate me for me to take action. Fear just wakes us up. Oh, something needs to be done here. That's its only job. If we stay stuck there, we can never get farther. But if we embrace, oh, this is waking me up to pay attention, to become aware that I need to change first me inside, then I can show up to make change in my world.
Exactly,
So we have
exactly.
to move through that fear by not putting our right to be in fear, like I'm a right to be afraid. Oh, I have a right to be. I exist. I am. I
Yeah,
have been created. And for that reason, I am an integral part of the greater whole. So I will feel fear just as part of beingness, but I am not the fear.
exactly.
The fear is just something moving through. Then if I can get over that one and embrace my fear, one of the pluses is it releases everybody else's fear.
Exactly. Yeah, yeah.
Then I will go into anger, some type of anger. Oh, I want to change this. This is good. We have a tendency to judge anger instead of going, no, that's the call for us to assess and a call to action. It gives us the energy to act. What we do determines whether we are true to our heart and authentic and pure of our intent or not. If I embrace my fear, it's just an emotion going through. If I embrace my anger, then all that energy gives me the strength to decide on appropriate action. If I
Exactly.
choose action out of my emotions, then it is not pure. because I put my right to be in the emotion instead of the right to be is here in my core. My emotions are something I experience going through. Then, once I am in that place of being centered, this is my fear, this is my anger, not the collective. And that's one of the phenomena going on right now. We have some master manipulators engaging people's fear, and then they externalize it, and then that fear, my fear, another person's fear, can have a party. And guess what? They are crashing the environment, our home, and we weren't even present for that experience. Where if we take in our fear, own, oh, I'm concerned. I am concerned also where we are headed as humans, that we can de-evolve into a very angry, warlike creature. Well, we've been there. We've done that. We have thousands of years of that. What is being asked of us is come to peace with our own vengeful, warrior, angry, violent side, to embrace what part is mine and train it, to take positive engagement and action in the world. What that can look like is to work through my fear, my anger. I have my grief also about the choices we are making. How can we not if we are awake to what is going on in the world? And then to choose, let me approach and go forward by extending my love and care. When we extend love and care, there is a new way that is created, is birthed. And in that birth, when we expand it with our fellow travelers who are also coming from that place of prayerful, authentic, true love, I see your spirit, you see mine. And in this engagement, we can create a new possibility, one that is created from our love and not our fear.
Exactly. Beautiful message. Beautiful message. Thank you. Thank you. I'd like to ask you also, what do you feel we can tell women that they're going to go home with after coming to be with us? Because, I think women would like to know what, exactly, I don't know if exactly, but how do you say it in English? That they can have, they can see, they can feel, that to take home with after being in the event. What do you feel about that?
There's two things that come up for me when you ask that question. First off, there is nothing that can compare to a personal, physical, visceral experience. That's why this is good. I will walk away with joy and connection with you, but it is never going to be the same as if I were to touch your hand and feel your heat, your personal skin against mine, cheek to cheek, breath to breath, as we exchange in that way. That leaves a much deeper impression in me. And that experience I can place in my heart of hearts, because there is an interactive, interdimensional expression of our sharing, which this can never do. This beautiful format. It's a flat screen. It's not even really three-dimensional. It only becomes three-dimensional on my side and on your side, but the screen itself is just 2 dimensions.
Exactly.
And that shortchanges us as a creature. We are an interdimensional creature. In a moment, I may only be 3 dimensions, but if I look at my entire life, I am moving through time and space, thus the fourth and fifth dimension. If I am in connection with Earth Mother, which we are proposing to do in November, that we will do deep connection with Earth Mother, deep connection with Grandmother Moon and Father Sun. They are moving through time and space. They are not bound by a moment, but they are in eternal time.
Yes.
When you and I share and we enter into that eternal time, it opens the door that you have the ability to go back into that time and space with me. And I have the ability to go back into that time and space with you. And it can inspire us not only for a lifetime, but many lives. How will we prove that? When I heard from my friend and you, there was this heart opening in my heart. I hadn't even met you. I had a little message that came up on my WhatsApp. But when that happened, as limited as this is, I felt a kindred spirit that I have walked with before, and that eternal time from another time, another life, rekindled those memories in my heart of heart. I know that every time when we do something like this, I'm looking so forward to seeing you in person, embracing you in person. And I know that that will add to that greater depth. When several of us are gathered and we consciously engage with that eternal time, it creates a ripple that is not three-dimensional, but interdimensional. And it has the ability to move through time and space, well into the past, well into the future, and set forth a birthing of a new way of being. That energetic opens the door and the gateway for other people's spirit, which is how that door is opened through that part of us, because it goes beyond that limited moment of time, and it opens the door for us to enter into eternal time. And then those ripples can change the world that we exist in.
Exactly.
But it requires us to be in the same space physically.
Yes, absolutely. I absolutely agree with you. And, you know, the confidence that we give each other to know that we have all these other sisters from so many countries, from so different places, that we are together, that we can support each other in case of anything that's happening in the planet, that we need support, that we have all these connections. That is so important. So
Yes.
important. And it's not the connection, as you say here, that we felt our hearts and our wombs together, you know, and we've prayed together. That makes a big difference. Big
It's a
difference.
huge difference.
Yes.
When you asked about medicina, whether my peoples, we look at it as working with butterfly medicina because it is a transmutive process, and to take us through not just, you know, in a given moment. I've been through transforming all my life. I have many more gray hairs. I have some more wrinkles, all those kinds of things. That's a transformation that I take. But a true transmutation is when we have a true change of our heart of hearts to understand it's not just that I am a female of this color, this height, this breadth, but where I understand I am one divine creation interacting with other aspects of divine creation. And in that, we enter into that eternal time. Now we can really make changes. And that's what's so important there. for us to engage with, especially in these times.
Yes.
I don't have to go into saying how many ways that those who are rooted in fear and insecurity are creating havoc in the world.
Mhm.
It's all around us.
Yes.
They have many, many tools. It is much easier to lie over a flat platform than to truly be authentic.
Yeah.
That requires that our eternal spirit is in alignment with the eternal spirit that moves all in the greater whole.
Yes.
And that is why we have to come together to be in our presence of each other and heartfelt connection. That's what creates that true magic, that true
Yes.
medicina, whether you consider it butterfly or hummingbird or
Yeah.
song. That, that's just what helps me get there.
Yes. I
We
understand.
will have many people's medicina there. And I know for myself, I grew up and I have been trained in you send them with homework. So, there is a practice that we will do. But if we have a physical object that reminds us of that homework, that we ask to witness what we are doing, when we touch that piece, we often go to creating prayer sticks for our physical anchor and reminder to witness it. When we do that, it enables us to get back into that place.
Yes.
When you are with other people, as you have invited the 13 of us who've been practicing this for decades, then part of going to someone like that is actually being in the presence of someone who brings all of that experience, all of that way of beingness, and that can help someone who does not have that long-term practice. But it still comes down to we have to do the practice. And so we will have practices we will do there. People will be able to tune into that, be in alignment with it. But we also have to send them with homework. And that's what I'm planning on doing, so that they have a tool that they will take with them, and it can help them get into that alignment. Instead of denying our frailties and going, oh, yeah, I'll do that. I'll just I call it becoming an instant shaman. It's very scary to me. These instant shaman programs.
I know what you mean. Yes.
Yes. No, it takes years of practice of going, oh, here's my little fear about this, and here's my little fear about this. Now, how much of this is mine? How much of this is my mother's? How much of this is my great grandfather's? And is that valid now? These are just to remind me this is what you have to pay attention to, but not to stop us going forward, but instead allowing their wisdom and their books of experience to guide me through these times that we have not been through before.
No.
And so we have to use all those tools of how to go forward in these times.
And one more better than listen to the grandmothers, that for some of us who might be the last time. I'm 84 years old. I don't know how much longer I'm going to live. I hope much more, but we don't know, you see. So it's an opportunity to listen to the grandmothers that have been through so much, that have seen so much, that have healed so much, and to be in the presence of the grandmothers, especially bringing, the old culture. It's so important now. So important to learn about all these old ways, these traditional, medicines. Is so important because it's so much. People are so lost, about their connection to Mother Earth right now, and I feel what really can save us is our connection to the Mother. Very connected and very centered in the Mother, and that's what we are going to bring to the women. I feel, very much.
Yes.
Yes.
I've also seen that you were saying that there will be some men, and that's in our tradition, even if
Yes,
it's a women-led and
of course.
women-held space, that we have some of
Yes,
the men there, because
yes,
it that's the magic where it requires both of us. We do the same to the men. When
yes,
it's for the men and they lead and it's for them to get through their stuff and become stronger, better people, we also expect a few, usually it's the grandmothers and grandfathers who fill this out,
yes,
of being, and the little ones, the little boys and girls, to fill this out,
mm,
because that's what makes us whole. We are a creature that is dependent on community. And
mm,
that's why it's so important for us to create a healing community for us to be in order for us to shift what has caused damage to our true nature and spirit.
yes, yes. The men are coming. The last day, we're doing a ceremony, acknowledging the sacred masculine. And also, there are going to be a few men, few brothers, who are going to be guarding us during the whole time. They're going to be on the periphery, guarding us and protecting us. So that's wonderful too. Yes.
Yes,
So
I'm
my
truly looking forward to this.
yes. Can you tell us a little bit about your life? I've heard so many things about the crystals and this and that. I'd like to hear a little bit, whatever you want to share.
Oh, goodness. Well, first off, I don't want for people to be led astray. My parents met at college. My mother was Jewish and
Uh-huh.
from the East Coast. Her family lineage is Lithuanian Jewish and
Uh-huh.
now part of Russia, that part of Lithuania, and Austrian and Sephardim, which
Mm,
are southern Spain. She
yeah.
was 25% Sephardim. So
Uh-huh.
her grandmother was from southern Spain. And so she was sent off to college. She had asthma. She was growing up on the East Coast. And it was in Pennsylvania, Pittsburgh. So a lot of smog, a lot of pollution, and a lot of moisture. And her parents were told, so they sent her off to help her lungs to get out of that. She needed to go
Yeah.
west. And she met my father, who was from Mexico, and he was Yoeme. He was also
Oh.
known as Yaqui. So
Uh-huh.
from a very early age, I was being asked to do this journey between the two worlds
Of
of a
course.
very European background, Jewish, very tribal, and
Yeah.
very tribal from the Americas, and to be this bridge. So I grew up. I will say this, I wasn't too happy about it because it was always this whole thing about being told by our parents that you are children of the future. This is where we're going. There are prophecies of this time from both sides of when the children of the world will once again reunite and no longer be separatists, but
Mhm.
realize that we are really one family. Of course, I didn't want to be a child of the future. I wanted to be a child in the now. And that
Yeah.
was the argument. I don't care about the future. Right now, I'd like to be in the now. But,
Yeah.
at the age of 12, my father said, you have to come to terms. This is your fate. There is a reason all of you kids have been in my life, your mother's life. This is our understanding. We know we are part of that. And we know that we are meant to be together and that you children are part of fulfilling that prophecy. You need to come to terms with it. So no more arguing, the age of 12. And instead, we will talk about you have two paths in front of you. All peoples are capable of great acts of evil, and all peoples are capable of great acts of blessing. You have the blessing of two paths before
Mhm.
you that your parents bring to you. Choose the better path of both sides, and thus you will be prepared to meet your destiny, or you are
Mhm.
already on the bridge. that the children of the future will be needing to build. You're having to build it now.
Beautiful.
When I was in my late 20s, I stopped avoiding that destiny and went back and talked to my father about this and my mother. My mother wasn't too happy about it. She had a tendency to look at more of the dangers and had a lot of fear and anger about the dangers that comes with that path. My father was more of the spiritual warrior and let me know that he had known this would come, that he'd been waiting for this day since the moment he met me and I was placed in his hands, that I would be the one amongst myself and my cousins that would take this path, and that he gave his blessings and support. We had a lot of conversations that took that conversation to another level about, so how do you go forward? It was at a time when my inner world was guiding me, that it was time to start teaching and healing outside of my family and closed circle. And in that process, I found that indeed there were many, many people of many colors who were seeking to reconnect with their own deep connection with Ome, our shared Earth Mother, and how to build a bridge back into their own indigeneity. And they had a lot of children who were mixed, where that was normal. Or when I was growing up, I was like, well, there's 3 other families this way. And so there's like this little tiny pod of us who are mixed and not too many like this. So I thought we were definitely a minority. We were. And now it is not so much that way. There are many, many children being born who are bringing the different ways of beingness and to truly manifest that vision that the visionaries of the Abrahamic lineage have brought forward. The visionaries of the Asian and Buddhist have seen coming forward, and the visionaries of the indigenous peoples of the Americas have spoken of this time of the rainbow children who will reunite us because we are all one family. I feel that I am uniquely qualified because I had to do that as a kid. That was our task, me and my 3 siblings. We had some, as I said, a few other people in the Denver, Boulder, Colorado Springs, Fort Collins area who were also mixed. There were less than 10 in total. Not a lot. Now it's pretty much the norm. I began the process at the age of 5 because of being precocious, that I asked to participate in some things that actually I had not been invited to. I was jealous. My older sister was getting to go on her first 1-hour vision quest. I was jealous. I wanted to do that. I was bored with making flowers and doing that kind of thing with the other 5-year-olds. I wasn't happy about it. And I spoke to my father, who said, please speak to the other elders. So I had an opportunity to speak to them. And there was 2 of them who volunteered to give a little extra attention to me because I was smaller, I was younger, but allowed me to go on that vision quest. It was just an hour. We were kids. We were little. Very typical for little ones. And in that process, when it came time for me to share what happened for me during that, I had had a vision during that time. Now, I had started dreams prior to that where my father knew about them and family members knew about them, but I had not gone outside of that very small circle. And it was the first time I was asked to share an experience outside of that. as a result of that, I was invited into the elders circle of communication
Wow.
that evening and several that Sunday morning with the whole community. The next youngest person was 13,
Wow.
and then they were 17 and older. So I got used to that.
Mhm.
The good news about that is it gave me permission to divulge something that I had going on that is not necessarily normal, and which a lot of individuals who've been divorced long term pulled away and torn away from their innate knowingness, which enables them to speak to the rocks, speak to the trees, speak
Mhm.
to the animals. It's not just our imagination. Now, granted, we can be creative in our interpretation, but actually sensing and feeling what that other being is speaking of is different. And so it allowed me to open that door, and it enabled me to have conversations with my father, starting later that summer at the age of 5, about
Uh-huh.
the spirits in rocks. And that's how that one started. And he and I had this long, lengthy conversation about taking care of them and the spirits in the rocks. And what are they teaching you? What are they telling you? And so I've been involved with that for a very long time. I have had the good fortune of several other teachers who are also from the Americas. One person who is Jewish, and another individual who is actually from China that I have had the opportunity to do some study with about how they work with them and perceive them. Because the mineral kingdom are ones that are worked with from all over the world. If we could come to understand that a mineral, a crystalline, is a living light being in the physical realm who has never lost that connection to the eternal light, then we would see that it is that wisdom that we are seeking. It is why I believe that systems all over the world go to the mineral kingdom time and time and time again, because they have that connection that enables the light in my heart through them to connect to the eternal light that brings all of life into the beingness.
Oh, that touches my heart so much. I'm really also into the stones. I have a collection of stones and crystals. Actually, I'm here with my crystal, I always carry it here. Yes, so it really touches me when I heard that about you. I said, "Oh, how wonderful." One more thing that, I can learn from you too. Beautiful. Thank you so much. Thank you so much, my sister. This has been wonderful, because the women are going to know, who you are now from you. It's different that we write down, and so to feel your presence and to feel your spirit, and see your smile and your beauty is wonderful, just wonderful. I am so grateful, and looking forward so much to be together. So just a little, just a short message to the women: say, come and be with us. I know, and you say it too, because I've told them so much. Come and be with us. It's important. Yeah,
This is so important. I can't tell you how important this is. If it
yeah.
resonates in your heart of heart, which it resonates in mine, and I know of several of my sisters, it resonates in our hearts. It is important for us to rekindle our spirits, our strength, our courage to go forward, to not allow the fear mongers and manipulators to control us, but instead to own our courage, our strength, our bravery, and to go forward in being our whole beingness. There is nothing like a true physical presence of each other that is
Oh,
absolutely necessary in these times for us to be able to connect. I so want to be with all of you in this time of all times. I can feel many of you out there that I know there is an eternal connection between us. I look forward to meeting you again in this life.
Oh, thank you, my sister. Thank you from my heart. It's a big, big help what you've done for us today. So we'll
And I
be
so
together
look
soon.
forward to being with you, Sister Luzclara.
Me too, my sister, Moonwalker.
Mm.
Thank you. Love you. We are in touch. I'll let you know what's going on. And this is going to go in all the webs and all the things that we're managing right now. So your face is going to, and your voice is going to be in your teachings everywhere. Thank you.
Thank
Ciao.
you.
Ciao, mamita. Ciao. Love you.